Welcome. They inspired millions, broke records, and became legends in their sport. In this video, we take a look at the final photos of legendary athletes before their passing. Diego Maradona's final photo before his death from a heart attack in Argentina on November 25, 2020. He was recovering from brain surgery at the time. Joe DiMaggio throws a ceremonial pitch during his final public appearances. He died on March 8, 1999, from complications of lung cancer at age 84. Pat Tillman photographed in Afghanistan in April 2004. The former NFL player was killed by friendly fire just days later on April 22nd. Pelé's daughter shared this photo of him in hospice care before his death from colon cancer on December 29, 2022. He was 82 years old. Sugar Ray Robinson, five-time middleweight champion, seen shortly before dying in Culver City, California on April 12, 1989. He was 67 years old. Babe Ruth makes his last public appearance at Yankee Stadium in June 1948. 2 months later, he died of cancer at age 53 in New York City. Muhammad Ali during a FaceTime call with his daughter in May 2016. He died on June 3, 2016, of septic shock after a long battle with Parkinson's. Owen Hart entering Kemper Arena on May 23, 1999. He died that night in a tragic fall during a stunt gone wrong at the WWE Over the Edge event. Jim Thorpe, one of America's greatest athletes, photographed at an award ceremony in 1950. He passed away 3 years later in 1953 at age 64. Kobe Bryant takes a selfie with a fan on January 25, 2020 at Mamba Sports Academy. He died the next day in a tragic helicopter crash with his daughter. Steve Prefontaine wins his final race at Hayward Field on May 29, 1975. The U.S. track legend died the next morning in a car crash at age 24. Chuck Hughes, Detroit Lions wide receiver, died of a heart attack during a game on October 24, 1971. He collapsed with a minute left in the fourth quarter. Bruce Lee in one of his last known photos, taken just days before he died suddenly in Hong Kong on July 20, 1973, at age 32 from cerebral edema. O.J. Simpson, seen walking with a cane in one of his final photos. The ex-NFL star died on April 10, 2024, after battling prostate cancer at age 76. Chris Benoit in a doctor's office just days before his death. The WWE star was found dead on June 25, 2007, in a tragic double murder-suicide. Bill Masterton, Minnesota North Stars player, was fatally injured after a hit on the ice. On January 13, 1968, he died 2 days later at just 29 years old. Lev Yashin, after a stroke and leg amputation, received the Hero of Socialist Labor Medal. He passed away 2 days later in Moscow on March 20, 1990. Franz Beckenbauer had a family dinner a year before his death in 2024. The German football icon had stepped away from public life to focus on his declining health. Ray Chapman, Cleveland Indians shortstop, photographed on August 15, 1920. He died the next day after being hit by a pitch from Carl Mays. Iron Sheik seen with fellow wrestler Sergeant Slaughter in early 2023. The Sheik passed away later that year on June 7th at the age of 81. Jesse Owens in 1978, 2 years before his death from lung cancer in 1980. The four-time Olympic gold medalist lived his final years in Phoenix. Dale Earnhardt Sr. prepares for the 2001 Daytona 500. He died later that day after a last-lap crash at Daytona International Speedway. Andre the Giant was last photographed in Paris during his father's funeral. He died in his sleep on January 27, 1993, from heart failure at age 46. Ayrton Senna at the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, moments before his fatal crash on lap 7. The Brazilian Formula One star was just 34 years old. Lou Gehrig's farewell at Yankee Stadium on July 4, 1939, became iconic. He died less than 2 years later, on June 2, 1941, from ALS at just 37. WWE's Ultimate Warrior poses with a fan hours before collapsing on April 8, 2014, just 1 day after giving a speech on Monday Night Raw. Len Bias, newly drafted by the Boston Celtics, celebrates just 2 days before dying from a cocaine overdose on June 19, 1986. Football legend George Best's last photo, shared with the words "Don't die like me." He died in 2005 after years battling alcohol-related illness. Ernie Davis at Browns training camp in August 1962. Diagnosed with leukemia, he never played an NFL game. He died less than a year later at just 23. Roberto Clemente poses with school children in Puerto Rico in late 1972. He died in a plane crash on December 31st while delivering aid to Nicaragua. Baseball icon Willie Mays photographed in 2023. The Hall of Famer passed away from heart failure on June 18, 2024, at the age of 93. Hank Gathers collapsed during a game in 1990 and died of cardiac arrest. He was only 23. This image is from his final warm-up with Loyola Marymount. Eddie Guerrero, after his final WWE match taped November 8, 2005. He died 5 days later from heart failure at age 38. Tony Gwynn in February 2014, months before he died of salivary gland cancer. The Hall of Famer passed away on June 16, 2014, at the age of 54. Wrestling legend Dusty Rhodes pictured a week before his death on June 11, 2015. He died of kidney failure at age 69. Known as the American Dream. Sir Stanley Matthews, football's first knight, died at 85 in 2000 after a brief illness. This photo shows him shortly before his passing. Jackie Robinson's final public appearance was on October 15, 1972, at the World Series. He died just 9 days later at the age of 53. NFL legend and actor Jim Brown seen in his final year. He died on May 18, 2023, at 87. Brown was a civil rights activist and football icon. Don Bradman, aged 90, pictured during after-death of his beloved wife. He died at home on February 25, 2001, from pneumonia. Wrestler Chris Von Erich signs an autograph at his final show on August 22, 1991. He died by suicide 3 weeks later, just shy of his 22nd birthday. Lane Frost, 25, pictured at Cheyenne Frontier Days Rodeo on July 30, 1989. He was fatally injured by a bull and died at the hospital that same day. NFL legend Walter Payton in April 1999. He died on November 1st that year from a rare liver disease and cancer. He was only 46 years old. Nina Kushik, first woman to officially win the Boston Marathon, died on June 8, 2025, from respiratory failure after battling Alzheimer's. She was 86. David Astori makes his final appearance with Fiorentina. A week later, the 31-year-old defender died in his sleep from cardiac arrest. Pro wrestler Brody Lee in his final podcast appearance. Just 6 days later, he was hospitalized with a lung issue and died on December 26, 2020. MMA fighter Rondell Clark during a weight cut. He died 3 days after his fight in 2017 from rhabdomyolysis, caused by dehydration and overexertion. Hillary Nelson, elite American skier and mountaineer, pictured during her final expedition. She died in 2022 after falling from Manaslu in Nepal. LSU wide receiver Kyron Lacy, seen March 30th. Just days later, the 24-year-old tragically died by suicide. He was known for his athleticism and leadership. Thurman Munson's final game on August 1st, 1979, at Comiskey Park. The next day, the Yankees catcher died in a plane crash at age 32.